Okay, I'm going to try this one again because I got too angry and I was swearing a lot. So, there's been a number of posts lately, usually fairly long-winded, and they're all in defense of Boris Johnson. They're normally something like, or words to the effect of, he's still a human being, he's just had a kid and he hasn't taken paternity leave, that deserves your respect. He's doing the best he can in a global crisis. He's also got the weight of Brexit and all this stress. We need to lay off the man. My response to which is jog on. Here's why. First and foremost, the whole kid thing. Most people, if they were in this position, if they just had a kid and they went back to work because they were a leader, because they were a political leader, political figure, I would give them respect for that. The reason why I don't give Johnson respect for that is because he doesn't have anything to do with his other kids. This is not a man who enjoys being a father. This is not a man who puts his kids first and his family first. This is a man who spent a small fortune in courts making sure that one of his illegitimate children could never have anything to do with him. This is a man who can't decide how many children he actually has. This is a man who does not give a single you-know-what about any of his kids. And this new one from Alexander Johnson is a political ploy already. And as soon as he's done with this new bit on the side that he cheated on his wife with, one of multiple affairs, he'll have nothing to do with his kid either. So no, he doesn't get a free pass for going back to work because he is a shit father. Brexit. Now, Boris Johnson was one of the key architects of Brexit, and he consistently said it would be the easiest thing ever. It would be the best thing for this country. So it's one thing or the other. Either it's going to be incredibly damaging and is an epic car crash, in which case he needs to be focusing on it, or it's the easiest thing ever and it ain't no drama. Also need to bear in mind, Boris Johnson is the one who has refused so far to ask for an extension in June. Now we're saying this in May. We've got till June to ask for the extension, but everything so far has been Johnson saying no, we won't do it. Everything so far has been Johnson saying no, fuck off. Every single turn. So he doesn't get any free passes for that either. Now for the coronavirus. I've said multiple times, cannot blame Boris or the Tories in general for the fact that the virus is here. But their actions, or lack of actions, well, that is entirely something we can blame them for. Highest death toll in Europe, second highest death toll in the world, and we are an island. There was a fantastic post that gave a little timeline of the corona disaster that the Conservatives and Boris let happen. I'm not going to go through it all because we'll be here for half an hour and I've got stuff to do today. But here's a little taste. December 31st. China alerts the World Health Organization to the new virus. 23rd of January. Study reveals a third of China's patients require intensive care. Now, it was around this time, a little bit before, but around this time, when scientists in the UK were piping up and saying to the government, look, this is actually something we really need to be taken seriously and we really need to be preparing for. Corbyn was also, along with the scientists, saying this is a serious thing, we need to be preparing for it. What happened? They were laughed at, they were mocked, they were insulted, and now we've seen the fallout. 24th of January, so the day after, Boris Johnson misses the first Cobra meeting. Every other Prime Minister has chaired a Cobra meeting. Every other Prime Minister. Except for the lazy good-for-nothing. 29th of January, Boris Johnson misses the second Cobra meeting. 31st of January, the NHS declares first ever Level 4 critical incident. Meanwhile, the government declines to join the European scheme to source PPE. They originally said, no, we don't need you, we'll do it on our own. They have changed their story multiple times since then because it looks really bad when people started to die. But that is how it started. They were involved in these conversations, they were involved in these minutes, and they said, do one. That's the Conservatives. 5th of January, Boris Johnson misses the third Cobra meeting. 5th of February, Boris misses the third Cobra meeting. 12th of February, Boris misses fourth Cobra meeting. Exeter University publishes a study warning coronavirus could infect 45 million people in the UK if left unchallenged, and it was. The 13th, Boris misses conference call with European leaders. Again, a massive two fingers up to literally and figuratively our closest allies. Side note, when the British government gave the NHS 30 ventilators, the German government donated 60. Boris cites Winston Churchill as a hero, or as his hero. Germany did more for our healthcare system than he did. 14th of February, Johnson goes away on a holiday. Aides are told to keep Johnson's briefing notes short or he will not read them. By the way, all of this is public information, so you can fact check it quite easily. And while he was off on his little holiday, parts of the country were flooded. So, to crisis, and Johnson decides to go on a fucking holiday. 26th of February, Johnson announces the herd immunity strategy, announcing that some people will lose loved ones. Government documents leak, predicting 500,000 Brits could die in a, quote, worst case scenario, end quote. 29th of February, Boris reacts to his Boris retreats to his country manor. The NHS warns PPE shortage nightmare. Stockpiles have dwindled or expired years after austerity cuts. This last part of it, isn't just Boris. This is also Theresa May. This is also David Cameron. This is the Conservative Party. So the next time they get up and they say, we are the party of the NHS, remember, they allowed NHS stockpiles, NHS resources and PPE to expire. 2nd of March, Johnson finally attends his first Cobra meeting, declining another opportunity to join the European PPE scheme. Government's own scientists say 500,000 Brits could die if virus left unrestrained. Johnson tells country, we are very, very well prepared. Fucking bullshitting liar. Okay, I'm going to skip a few because again, we're coming up to 9 minutes and there's a lot more. So, 19th of March, hospital patients with coronavirus are returned to care homes in a bid to free up hospital space. What follows is a boom of virus in care homes. This pisses me off incredibly because while I work in a care home for for adults with learning disabilities, I do have a history of working in nursing homes. And I still have colleagues and friends who work in said homes who have buried a lot of people because the government fucked up. 23rd of March, the UK goes into lockdown. 23rd of March. We knew about this. Even if you want to be very giving towards the government, we knew about this on the 23rd of January. Other countries, straight on it. Straight on it. We didn't do a damn thing till the 23rd of March. And this is after Bojo encouraged people to go to massive sporting events. 26th of March. Johnson is accused of putting Brexit over breathing by not joining EU ventilator scheme. The government then states they had not joined the scheme because they had missed the email. As I previously said, the minutes are public. We know they were part of those discussions, and they said, jog on. Again, skipping through most of, I'm going to skip all of April because it's heartbreaking. 1st of May, the government announces it has reached its target of 100,000 tests. They haven't even conducted the tests, but posted the testing kits. The testing kits, about 30,000 of them, that didn't have a return address. The kits that were made by a company that doesn't normally make these kits. I'm going to stop reading there. I am going to link it on my Twitter, the write-up, Bam Gibson 30. So, this notion that Boris has done all that he can do is wrong. Point blank, it's wrong. This man has avoided doing anything at all. And when you actually break down what he's done and the timeline of what he's done and what the Conservatives have done, they have not responded to the coronavirus. They have responded to criticism from the right-wing media, which is now, for some reason, why the lockdown has been lifted in parts. Go back to work. We don't care if you die, our rich buddies are losing money. So the next time you see a post on Facebook, wherever, telling you to lay off of Boris Johnson, send the person who posted it to this video. Send them to the link I'll put on Twitter. Boris Johnson is human. But there is a reason why we have the second highest death toll in the world and the first highest in Europe. And it is not because of the luck of the draw. It's because Boris Johnson is a disgusting human being who wants power without any of the responsibility or any of the workload. That's how simple it is.